When you get the panel to where you think you like it, you think it's ready to paint, then after you've got your little bit of sanding done, you can go back and re-prime this if you like. It won't hurt it if you leave it like this. The main reason that painters like a solid surface or a solid primer surface is that they can judge the way that the new paint coat is going on without having to, is that a shiny spot? Is that a high spot? Is that modeling? And they can tell when they have an even surface, but it's not required. The main thing about acrylic paints, acrylic enamel, is that they're designed to stick on primer. They're not designed to stick directly over paint. But I guess you could do it. But primer filler is there to where we can fine-tune the surface and make it smoother so that your paint will go on smoother. And it will hide defects. You can either build low spots into high spots. You can take high spots and use primer and build it around it to lessen what it looks like. There's all kinds of things you can do. Basically, what we're doing, we start out, we pull it in, all right? Then what we do is we use Bondo or plastic Bondo. And that gives us a rough overall fixing of the problem. From there, we start to fine-tune the finish to where we get the whole finish down to about 400 or 600 grit smoothness. That's where we use the primer filler, the spot putty, to get ready for the paint. After the paint goes on, then we start to use higher grits up, starting with 1,000 or 12. Well, I don't know if there is a 1,200. I know there's 1,000 grit microfine. There's 1,500. There is 2,000, and there is 2,500 grit. And all that's wet sanded. But for what we want to try and do is get up to about 600. You can either go wet or dry. I would suggest that if you're starting to paint and you've not done this a lot, use 400 grit dry paper, because the wet sanding can take off a lot of material very quickly when you may not want to do that. So now I think that I've gotten this panel where I want it. I'm going to have to mask it again. Okay? What I'm going to do, I won't mask these holes at all right here, but you can mask them if you like, especially if you think you have some stuff on the back that the air pressure will blow through and dislodge it and blow it somewhere else on the finish, which you don't want to do. If you are going to do anything on the back of the panel, you might want to mask the front area for the radiator and the back if you want to. Masking is an art. We did a little bit of masking for just the covering areas. To mask it for the final paint job is another art in itself. You can see how well how fast the air is moving. The most ideal place to paint this is in a paint booth, because you have moving air that's taking your overspray and moving it away from the object, and so it's not drying in the air and settling on it, creating a dry look. But not everyone has a paint booth. I have two of them at my work I could use. But I don't want to go in there and show them how great I am. They just probably get jealous. All painters are jealous. They all think they're the best, but they've never met me. Cheers.